In dream, if you marry, will it affect you? No. In dream, if you have half a dozen children, will you look for them when you get up? No. The wakeful marriage is also like that. There is nothing greater, more sanctifying about it. This kind of a Maya attitude should be there in you. When I say this, you may not accept, or maybe some people accept. In my Malayalam telecast, what happens is, when I speak of all these things, people write to me, Swamiji, it is so relieving. I have become so light-hearted now. That is the purpose of this explanation. Vishnor Mayamidam Pashyan. To whom is this said? To Nimi Chakravarti, by the yogis, when he was performing a great yaga. So you should understand the religious bearing, relevance of this message, and the human relevance of the message. It is not spoken to a beggar. It is spoken to the most resourceful human, namely the king and the emperor Nimi. Vishnor Mayamidam Pashyan Savai Bhagavatottamaha. If you can reach that stage using devotion for the purpose, this is the highest elevated devotee that you can think of. In Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, there is a verse number 3. Nyayassa nitya sannyasi yo nadveshti nakangshadi nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade. See how the same idea finds place everywhere. I generally expose Bhagavad Gita. During the past 56 years, I have been talking. Invariably, my evening discussion will be on Sreemad Bhagavad Gita. In Bhagavad Gita, a lot of practical messages are there. So, when I am exposing to you Srimad Bhagavatam, I thought I will also parallelly tell you something about Bhagavad Gita. Nyayaha sanitya sannyasi yo nadveshti na kankshati. That man, saha nitya sannyasi iti jnyayaha. You know, sannyasa is the 4th ashrama, and that is considered to be the best and the most rewarding and fulfilling. Everyone is supposed to be a sannyasi before his body drops. Krishna says that person should be considered as a nitya sannyasi, nitya sannyasi, nitya sannyasi, who yo nadveshti na kankshadi. Whoever is able to keep the mind free from kanksha, desire, and dvesha, dislike or hatred. So if the mind is freed from kanksha and dvesha, he becomes a sannyasi. My dear viewers, can you not become a sannyasi of this kind? Suppose you don't become, you suffer eternally. No alternate. If you don't become a sannyasi, you become aggrieved always. You are victimized by your own mind's dvesha and kanksha. Kanksha means desire, dvesha means dislike, hatred, intolerance. So, when you are able to keep away these two, dvesha and kanksha, that person is a nitya sannyasi. Not only that, nirdvandvo hi mahabaho sukham bandhat pramuchyade. In a very comfortable manner, sukham bandhad, from all kinds of bondage, pramuchyade, he is relieved, he is delivered. Nirdvandvo hi mahabaho. Keeping the mind above and away from these twins, dvesha and kanksha, this is called the nirdvandva state. Normally we are enmeshed in the dvandvas, victimized by them, tormented by them, perplexed by them, subdued, overpowered, afflicted by them. Suppose you keep them away by your discrimination, by your intelligence, by the scriptural insight, by the spiritual fortification, then you will find you can become a nitya sannyasi. See what Hari says here. Grihitva vindriyairarthan yo nadveshti na hrishyadi vishnor mayamidam pashyan savai bhagavatottamaha. Only some point he has brought. Consider all this to be an illusory display of Lord Hari. This is what he says. He continues the 49th verse. Dehendriya pranadhiyo manodhiyamyo janmapyayakshud bhayatarsha kritsaihi samsara dharmaihi avimuhyamanaha smrityaharehe bhagavata pradhanaha. Dehendriya pranadhiya panodhiyamyo janmapyayakshud bhayatarsha kritsaihi. What does it mean? You know, this devotion is a great pursuit of austerity. Devotion means what? It is an austerity. It is not always simply the puja, the colorful puja that you perform. A devotee is one who is given to reformation, who is given to moderation, refinement, regulation, discipline. And every time he will be getting elevated. Dehendriya pranamanodhiyamyo. Deha, the body. Indriya, the senses. Prana, the cosmic life force. Manodhiyam, the mind and the intelligence. All of them are subject to Janmapyaya kshud bhayat arshakrichaihi. Janma, birth. Apyaya, death you can say. Kshut, hunger. Bhaya, fear. Tarsha, desire and greed. Krichra, a number of torments and difficulties and hardships. All these difficulties are because of your body, senses, prana, mind and intelligence. Dasharatha died only because of his grief at Rama's separation. Rama went to the forest. It was very good. Why should Dasharatha die for the purpose? Only because of his mind, his separation, pangs of separation. Samsara dharmaihi avimuhyamanaha. Samsara means worldliness and worldly life. It is supposed to constantly bring about all that. Birth, how many things are getting born? Not only human beings, ants also are getting born, flies are getting born, mosquitoes are getting born. So every time so many things are getting born, they also die. So birth and death, very regular in this world. Kshud, hunger. Bhaya, fear. Tarsha, desire. Krishna, various difficulties. These are samsara dharmas. Will you understand this word? Our culture excels in using these words in the day-to-day vocabulary, jargon of people. Samsara dharmaihi. The moment you get born into this world, you are subject, you are surrounded by all these things. Birth, death, hunger, thirst, greed, desire, dislike. One difficulty after the other. As we grow older and older, we will lose the freedom to sit wherever we want, to stand as much we want, to lie as much we want. We cannot take bath ourselves after some time. What is meant by living? Everybody wants to live up to 80, 85 years old, Shatabhishekam, etc. But until then, we are declining in our health. This is a samsara dharma that you should understand. With all these dharmas, avimuhyamanaha, you should not be deluded. You cannot say, I am old and start crying. I am not able to walk as briskly as I used to and then start crying. No. The eyes will lose their vision or vision will be lesser. The number of teeth will be less. So many difficulties will be there. But understand them to be samsara dharmas. Avimuhyamanaha. Be never deluded by them. When a child is born, you are all happy. When the child is growing old, why are you not equally happy? What is the reason? Is it wisdom? Is it insight? Is it a knowledge of the world? It is sheer ignorance. Please shed it. Avimuhyamanaha. We are here to be knowing, to be enlightened, to deal with things in an enlightened manner, in an elevated manner, in a civilized manner. Smritya harehe Bhagavata pradhanaha. How can we overcome the delusion caused by all these samsara dharmas? Harehe smritya, Harehe smritya, Harehe smritya, by remembering Lord Hari. Who is this Lord Hari? Parama Kalyana Nidhi. He is an abode, he is a treasure of supreme felicity. Felicity, felicity. Supreme, supreme, super felicity. Remember him, remember him. Every word that you utter, every idea that you foster in your mind of Lord Hari will fill the mind and heart with a lot of joy, promise and hope. Bhagavata Pradhanaha. By chanting the name of the Lord, Hare, Mukunda, Krishna, Vasudeva, chanting in this manner, remembering in this manner, overcome, 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 float over all the samsara dharmas. When one is able to do so, he is called a Pradhana Bhagavata, the best, a crest jewel amongst the devotees. Dehendriya pranamanodhiyam yo Janmapyayakshud bhayatarsha krichraihi samsara dharmaihi avimuhyamanaha smritya hare bhagavata pradhanaha nakama karma bijanam yasya chetasi sambhavaha vasudevaika nilayaha savai bhagavatottamaha. Sometimes Hari puts a longer verse with some more complex ideas related to the word. Sometimes he makes it a very simple proposition. Quite a few verses are spoken about the Uttama Bhakta. We are not so much worried about the first and the second categories. We want to become the first category ourselves. Nakama karma bijanam yasya chetasi sambhavaha vasudevaiga nilayaha savai bhagavatottamaha. Very simple. Vasudevaiga nilayaha. Vasudevaiga nilayaha. You must have only one refuge, one fortress. That is Lord Vasudeva. You may live in your house. You may be a son or a daughter, a husband or a wife, a father or a mother, a brother or a sister. Whatever you are, your refuge must be the Supreme Lord. Parama Kalyana Nidhi, Lord Hari. The mind should always rest on Him. The mind should always rely upon Him. Bodily you are upon the earth, in your house or on a cot, in a chair. But mentally you should be on the Antaratma, the Antaratma. Vasudevaiga nilayaha. Nakama karma bijanam yasya chetasi sambhavaha. When your mind starts relying upon, completely resting upon the Supreme Lord, then Hari says, Na kama karma bijanam. There will be no seed of either kama or karma in your mind. Kama means desire, karma means the urge and the flair for activity. Both of them will not be there. Why? Because your mind is filled with Vasudeva. Does God act in this world? He is everywhere. Everywhere He is. But does He run about? Does He do anything? So there should be no desire in your mind. And desire motivated activities also should not be there. Yasya chetasi sambhavaha. Such a thing will never emerge in his mind. So the mind will not give rise to any kind of a desire or a desire-oriented activity, because he is fulfilled by the thought and the memory and the identity with the Lord Vasudeva. Nakama karma bijanam yasya chetasi sambhavaha vasudevaiga nilayaha savai bhagavatottamaha. Na yasya janma karmabhyam na varnashrama-jadibhihi sajjadesmin aham bhavo dehe vai sahareh priyaha. See, such a beautiful refinement. You know how that fine tuning is made. People have a lot of abhimana and ahankara. It can be on any account. I am well born, in a very good family. I have got a good pedigree. This can be your ego. I have enough money and resources. So why should I mind what others say? I will be what I am, what I want to be. Another abhimana. I have got good children, I have got a lot of influence, I am a minister, I am this, I am that. No such ego should be there. Nayasya janma karma bhyam. Either on account of janma, birth, karma bhyam, or because of the activities and the profession that you are able to have. Na varnashrama jatibhihi. Either on account of varna, I am a brahmana or a kshatriya or a vaishya, or ashrama, I am a brahmachari or I am a grihastha, I am a vanaprastha or I am a sannyasi. Varnashrama jatibhihi, or maybe any other born quality. Sajjade asmin aham bhavo. In his mind, no aham bhava, no ego should ever sprout. Dehe vai sahare priyaha. After all, this ego is primarily because of the body. We are all born. What is born? The soul is not the one that gets born. It is the body that is getting born. So, on account of the birth in a body, if you foster any kind of an ego, what are the types of ego? He says, janma karma bhyam. By virtue of birth or by virtue of the profession, professional glory, status or otherwise. Similarly, varna, ashrama and jati. No ahambhava should ever arise in your mind. If you become proud, this is what will happen. Sa harehe priyaha. That person is extremely dear to Lord Hari. Now you tell me, in this particular verse, is there any puja mentioned here? Is there any ceremony or ritual enjoined here? It's only purifying your mind, cleansing your mind and removing the ego element from it. That ego extinction or ego effacement, this is the pinnacle of devotional fulfillment. Nayasya swaparaidi vitteshva atmani vabhida sarvabhuta samasyantaha savai bhagavatottamaha. Most probably, you would not have heard all these things. That Sreemad Bhagavata is a text where the psychology of the human, it is touched, polished, rubbed, refined, just like melting gold in a crucible. This is what Sreemad Bhagavatam does. I always say, Sreemad Bhagavata is a kind of a factory with 12 workshops there. You feed the raw material into the first workshop, and the raw material undergoes a process. By the time it comes out of the 12th skandha, it becomes a finished product. Similarly, any raw human mind, you treat it in Srimad Bhagavata right from the first skandha. By the time it comes out of the 12, you will have become totally divine, as it happened in the case of Parikshit. Parikshit was a worldly king. He decided to be in Prayopavesha. Suddenly Shugamuni arrived and he took up the narrational task. Parikshit was only listening to, with all attention and fondness, to what Shukadev said. He was listening to. Whenever he had a doubt, he raised it. He got the answer and clarification. Like that, the interaction went on. On the 7th day, Parikshit was a totally different person. How did it happen? This is the greatness of Bhagavatam. That is why they say, Swadu swadu pade pade, swadu swadu dine dine. This is the reason. Nayasya swah paraiti vitteshva atmaniva bhida. What is the meaning of this verse? I wish I could be very close to you and explain it and make sure that you have understood the message. Nayasya, who does not have swaha paraiti, the feeling that this is mine, this is another's. With regard to what? Vitteshu atmani va bhida. You have a body. This body is mine. Other bodies are theirs. No. All bodies are equally us and equally the God's. To divide one human body and another human body saying, this is not correct, he says. See, we purchase a plot of land. with a registered deed and we say, this land is mine. Which land is yours? I don't understand. What is this land? Land means the whole of it. So if you start making a boundary, will you not reach the other side of the earth? Is it belonging to you? Is the center of the earth belonging to you? Only the surface. But you still say, this is mine and that is another's. Actually the whole fact is your land and others' land, all the two are earths. Nobody's it is. This is the truth. Here what are we saying? Na yasya swaf parayidi. Swaha means oneself. Parha means another. Vitteshu atmani vabhida. Either in the wealth or the possession that you have. In the wealth or the possession that you have. Atmani vabhida, or with regard to the self. You cannot say myself and yourself. Are they different? Or the self in all is the same? If one wave starts saying, ocean water in me and ocean water in you, we are different. Both are equally the ocean. There is air inside my body, air inside in the bodies of all of you. Can I say my air and your air? Air is only one. All the bodies are equally Panchabhutas. So where is the question of my body and another body? All bodies are uniform. That is why we are able to take blood and transfuse it into another. Is it not very clear? So shed this differential outlook. Shed it. It is the most sinful, damaging and constricting. Na yasya swaf parayidi vitteshva atmani vabhida sarvabhuta samasyantaha. When you get away from the idea of I, mine and he, his, etc., sarvabhuta samaha. Sarvabhuta samaha. You will become equally disposed to all. Equally disposed to all. Shantaha. You will become quiet and peaceful. Savai Bhagavatottamaha. That person is the supreme and the best of devotees. Has he used a word God here? No. Is there any particular dharma here? No, nothing. It's only a refinement and a purity. And what you call an equal vision, an equal embrace of the whole world and society. Na yasya swaf parayidi vitteshva atmani vabhida sarvabhuta samasyantaha savai bhagavatottamaha. After all, this is a text, a wonderful devotional text. And this text, when you read it, when you think about it, when you hear it, when somebody explains it, the mere narration or explanation and being fortunate enough to listen to it, that itself is sufficient to purify and devotionalize you. See how he puts the ideas. Tribhuvana vibhava hetavepya gundha agundha smrtir ajitatma suradibhir vimurgyad na chaladi bhagavat padara vindad leva nimishardhamabi yaha sa vaishnavagriyaha. Another way of putting it. Sometimes he explains it in a very secular manner, in an ethical manner, sometimes in a religious manner, sometimes in a societal manner, sometimes in a human elegance manner. Now here he has brought a devotional element. Tribhuvana vibhava hetavepya gundha smritihi ajitatma suryadibhir vimurgyad. Tribhuvana vibhava hetave.